So we just got word that the defense rests their case. What defense? You didn't even try. You did not even try to give the jury an alternative story. You didn't even try to make the picture clear. Like, you didn't even try. Where's his family? Where's his other teammates? You didn't even try. You did not even try to give him a fighting chance. You called 6 people, and all of them helped the prosecution. You didn't even try. A damn shame. A damn shame. Didn't even try.
The defense has rested in the Karmelo Anthony trial. After a very lengthy lunch break, where I imagine it was talked over at length with Karmelo Anthony and Karmelo Anthony's family, they have decided not to call any further witnesses. I can fathom to guess that during the lunch break they discussed whether or not Karmelo needed to testify. He had previously said that he was not going to testify, or his team had said that he was not going to testify, but they have now rested. Jury deliberations will start tomorrow after closing arguments from both the prosecution and the defense. The jury will be sequestered during deliberations, meaning that they are not going home. They're going to be stuck in a hotel during the pendency of deliberations. And then we'll see how long it lasts. Now, my question for you is, did the prosecution prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt for murder, or did the defense prove for you self-defense and that it was excusable? I would like to know in the comments, did they prove their case? Is he guilty? Or did they not prove his case? Is he not guilty? Let me know in the comments what you think, and let's see where this heads.
Secret Service Sam here with more receipts on the Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf trial. Sorry, I had a little skin cancer thing removed. Don't mind the Band-Aid. Anyway, I'm digressulating. I've brought more receipts. Now, as I said earlier, they doctored pictures of Karmelo, so I have proof. Look at this picture, which is the original mugshot taken. You can tell under his right eye, it is swollen. Now look at the doctored picture under his right eye, airbrushed out. Now this is messed up. Look how dark they made his skin in the doctored picture, because we know darker is scarier. Notice in the picture they also hide his neck, where in the original you can barely see some abrasions from being strangled, allegedly. Now look at the bridge of his nose in this original picture. It's swollen, but in the doctored picture it is not. Also notice on the right side of his head, if you're looking at the picture on his left, there are locks of hair missing. But on the doctored picture, there are no hair locks missing, and his hairline is perfect. All I gotta say is stay woke, because these pictures are doctored. Allegedly. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president of the world.
Everyone has an opinion, so here's mine. The prosecution in the Karmelo Anthony case has just rested on Saturday after calling 21 witnesses, with the final witness being the medical examiner, talking about the wound itself that was on Austin Metcalf's heart. The wound was oval-shaped, and it looked like the hole appeared to be gaping. That was the last image that jurors were left with as the prosecution rested its case on Saturday afternoon. The defense began its attempt at trying to, convince jurors that this was a self-defense case by calling in several witnesses already. The problem is some of the defense witnesses have corroborated the story of the prosecution's witnesses. That cannot bode well for young Karmelo Anthony. Over this weekend, we have seen a litany of opinions coming from every demographic, right? When it comes to this case, this case is sweeping the nation. And a lot of people are filled with misinformation and disinformation and have their opinions centered around things that aren't necessarily true. All right? Karmelo was not jumped. Karmelo was asked 15 times to leave the tent. Carmelo's friend, Eddie, was only his friend of a friend, that friend being the girlfriend. Remember in the first video, I told you that there was a girl somewhere in the midst of all of this? Do you remember that I told you this? I told you this was over a girl, but alas, no one wants to take that notion into play. Because if I'm the defense or if I'm the prosecution, she's one of the first people I'm calling. Because I want to know what was your relationship with the Metcalf boys? Did you know Austin? Did you know Hunter? Were you sexually active with either? Were you in a romantic relationship with either? What's the exact nature of your relationship with Karmelo? Did Karmelo find out that you were perhaps double dipping? Or maybe Karmelo was just a jilted lover. Maybe you left Karmelo for Austin or for Hunter. Again, this is all speculative. We don't really know. But all I'm saying is that there is a girl somewhere in the midst of all of this, and that needs to be explored. Also, the self-defense narrative, to me, has fallen completely on its face. So now we're starting to hear rumblings that the defense may go with a mistaken self-defense, as in he believed inaccurately that he was in danger when he actually wasn't. Maybe that's the angle that the defense is going to go with, because right now they have not met any of the criteria necessary to call this self-defense. As of right now, if you look at all of the information and everything that has been presented, this screams premeditated murder. Karmelo Anthony's hand was on the knife the entirety of the altercation with Austin. The knife was already open when it emerged from the bag. So when he pulled the knife, it's not like he pulled the knife, opened the knife, and then stabbed. He pulled the knife with the knife already open. That matters. The fact that the totality of this entire altercation was less than 5 minutes, that matters. The fact that Karmelo was asked 15 times to leave and refused to do so, that matters. It also matters that multiple witnesses have said that Austin told Karmelo he did not want to fight him at a track meet. Also, there's a narrative going around that all of the eyewitnesses were all white and that they have colluded against young Karmelo Anthony. Mind you, they don't know this kid. The only one who's right now under oath who actually is testifying that they knew Karmelo is the kid Eddie. That's the only one. And I told you he's the friend of a friend. And even he corroborated the prosecution story when he was asked directly, did this look like self-defense or did it look like murder? He said it looked like murder. And that was the defense's star witness. Now, Hunter has not taken the stand, and I imagine the prosecution is doing everything they can to keep him from having to take the stand, and for obvious reasons. But what I want to speak to is a bigger problem that I've noticed in the black community, especially with this case. Because of our need to have everything be a lightning rod for racism, Lee Merritt, Quanell X, Roland Martin, the black bourgeoisie, so to speak, the NAACP, the Al Sharptons of the world, they've all colluded together to come up with this harebrained idea to make this case racially charged. When I told you 2 years ago, I told you the other day, and I'm telling you right now, at any point or at no point was this case ever racially motivated. You do not understand the dynamics of life in Frisco, Texas. You're trying to make something racist about boys who were athletes. See, one thing you must learn about Texas athletics is there's very little room for racism here. The quality of athlete that is here, you have to respect every opponent or you will get destroyed. I wish you would underestimate a team because they're white. I wish you would underestimate a team because they're black. Or bring that kind of notion onto the field or onto the court. And I bet you get your lunch ate. You have to understand that. So the whole, this is a racial thing, no. This was boys who had an altercation that had nothing to do with race. So let's get rid of that. And let's talk about the bad advice that Karmelo was given. They're the same people who were telling him to fight this and go with the self-defense thing instead of taking a plea deal based on the evidence that the prosecution already had, the case that was already being built against him. Wouldn't it would have made more sense to just take a plea deal? Try to plead to a lesser charge, see if you can get this down to manslaughter, see if there's a chance where you can possibly come home and resume your life at some point. But now this young 5'8", 135-pound boy is going to have to go to a grown man prison for the rest of his life. And all of these people, the Lee Merritts, the Quanell X's, the Roland Martins, all of the black bourgeoisie, all of the same exact people who put this battery in his back and told him to carry this are going to be fucking nowhere to be found when that judge bangs that gavel and that bailiff comes to go put the cuffs on Karmelo and they walking behind that G-wall. Where are you going to be then? Where's all the black support then? Are you going to do day for day with them? Are you going to put money on his books, money on his commissary? See, this is the problem that we have in the black community. You're so busy being caught up over bullshit, you can't even see the forest through the trees. But that's just my opinion. Love to know yours. Drop a like, comment, share this video. And of course, you know, I need to help a brother out special. Smash that follow button.
Honey, it is not looking good for Mr. Anthony. But you know what? We knew it was a setup from the start. We knew it was a setup from the start. And they are doctoring up pictures. And I'm hearing from the bird, they're saying they want to hang him. They want to put a noose around his neck, and you do know what? That's what they really want to do. That's what I'm hearing around these streets. So we just going to have to pray. We're going to have to wait to see what's going on. It's up to the juries. We all know the juries is not his peers, and he should be judged by his peers, but it's not his peers. And they're all Caucasian, older people, you know? So I just don't know. But America is definitely sending you guys a message, and the message is very loud and clear. You know, it's very loud and clear, and it's nothing, seem like we can really do nothing about it.